Hi, welcome to my messy fingers. I am now done with the newest album featuring STAMPERIA'S collection, The Nutcracker. I played with two of the backgrounds and two of the core collection in the 12 by 12 paper pads. Now you can make this into an 8 by 8. You just have to make the accommodations for the measurements. But this is measuring 9 by 9. And I used a lot of ephemera on the front of this. It's got that beautiful little sheen. This is from the quotes saying, and I used some Wink of Stella here. And then I carried this paper onto the spine. And I did wrap this in brown. It's the only place you're going to see brown. And then I accented it with red so everything would pop. So again, on the spine, we have a soldier from the ephemera. And then on the back, we've got these are chipboard pieces of the ballerinas. And then this is one of the papers that has the ornaments on it, and I used some Wink of Stella there. The ribbon is from my stash, but everything except for the cardstock, everything that it took to make this was supplied to me by Scrap and Create. They're an online craft store, and they supply me with all the material that it takes for me to make one of these, including the chipboard and the tape, the glue, everything. So swing on over, share some love with them. So let's take a look at the inside. Now, I will tell you that if you order the collection from them, they will send you free of charge this little goodie bag full of brass elements, and I did play with several of these throughout the making of this album. So here on this side, we have, this is a big image of two houses that are together, and I did cut up the center of both those and place this little quoted saying here to try and replace the one that got cut through down here. A little brass embellishment here. I added some gems up here across the top to pretend like that they're Christmas lights. You know, you always put Christmas lights on your house top. So then when you open this up on the inside, this is a magnet closure. You have these two window panels that I cut a section out between the two, and I use these as window panels with the idea that you're looking through the window panels to maybe your backyard. And here's the chipboard Christmas tree, and we've got a star up here. Open this up, and we have one of the round circle tags, and I placed the bookmark. So this is a nice tuck, and you still have a spot here to put your photos. And then the same over here. We've got a nice dedicated spot for a photo, and yet you have a nice deep tuck to put in. A little accent here from the cutout page, a nice pocket. Again, this is a die that I used. You can forego the die, or you can use a punch or a die of your choosing, but this is an unbranded die, so there will not be any links for it in the description field down below. And then here's a card tucked into the pocket. So then over here we've got the Nutcracker guys, and this came out of one of the quoted sayings, and this is one of the brass embellishments. And then I used a little bit of Wink of Stella here on the flowers. I don't know if you can see those or not. And we've got some bling running down the side here. We open it up. Here is that cut out window pane. I've used it here as a pocket. So then in the cutouts, there's this cute little envelope. You can use it as a dedicated saying, and you fold it in, and I used two small magnets to keep it closed. Over here, I cut out Joyful off this piece. It ran across the bottom, and I placed it here on this side. And then in here we have a band that runs through the center, and it's a tuck both top and bottom. And then we've got the nice big pocket right here, and I use scraps when I make my pockets. So I use this scrap and then backed it with this checkerboard piece and then one of the tags. And then these stars, I put some Wink Stella on them. Now the other thing that I did was I used this piece of paper that has music notes on it, and I cut it in thirds. So this was a 6x6 piece that I scored it at 4, I scored it at 8, and then using both sides of the paper, I alternated my patterns and then added little accents up here. I did fussy cut her out, I did mount her and popped her up off the page so she can sit right in there like so. On this one, whoops, that didn't close right. Okay, this is a big clock. When I trimmed this, there is an entire framework around the side that I cut off because I wanted to focus on the clock, not that framework. And then I came in here on the sides a little bit. I came in here off the top and off the bottom so that I could get this framed in here. So then I cut straight up through the clock, and then I took one of the round circle tags. It was mounted on red cardstock. Put this ring of bling around it, and now it's a magnet here. And then when you open this up, it's just the red tag on this side. You can cover this if you want. And then over here, we've got the tuck. You open this up, we have another tuck here, and a pretty good size room here for a photo. Now, I left these unharmed. I didn't alter them. I didn't do anything with them, thinking that it would make a great place, a serene place to put a beautiful family photo here and here. But you can also use this page for journaling. I think it's so important that we pass heirlooms along and that we share in those heirlooms our handwriting. I can't tell you how precious my parents' handwriting is to me right now. So to me, it's just something I think that should be included. So then when you open this up, we have a long panel on both sides, and I put a band down here, one-sided band for a tuck as well as over here. We have ephemera bells, and then I did something, I like to play with my scraps, and I had two images here that I really liked, but neither one were sufficient enough to cover this. So I took two pieces, I brought them together. There is a bit of a seam through here, but I matched up the sides and then tried to match it up here. To help hide the seam, I did cut this out, placed it in the front, and then the clock, and then a couple of cutout embellishments. And then we have a nice pocket. But unless you're really looking at it and know what to look for, it is a little bit hard to discern that there's a seam there. But it was a great use of two strips of leftover paper. And then over here, we have this beautiful scene with the fireplace. I did use one of the brass embellishments here. A little bit of Wink Stella on the flames and here. And then when you open this up, so when this is closed, this looks like the clock is sitting next to the fireplace. When you open this, it's the clock and the chair. And this piece and this piece was one 12 by 12. So then when I cut it up, I put a little bit of a brass element here. And then, because there's not much else you can do with this unless you want to start covering up the images. And then when you come in here, I used two of the large chipboard pieces to make tucks. And you can still put photos in up here. And I did the same over here. And then this piece, I did something different. So when you make this, you do not have to do this. You can actually make this without putting the 1/2 inch tag up here to tape in behind this page. So when you open this, I use some Wink Stella here, and I use the same sheet of paper to cover the outside. So then we've got a place here for photo or journaling. We've got some of the ephemera pieces, and again, journaling, ephemera. And then when you open this up, here is that beautiful window spread with the Christmas tree. This is more for decoration unless you want to put a photo here and not cover that up. Oh, sorry. And then down here, this is the main panel, and we have a large tuck. And I have used all kinds of chipboard pieces across the bottom here. This checkerboard piece is out of my stash, and then I accented it with this piece here to kind of break up that black checkerboard. And then I placed the chipboard pieces over it, and this bell sits on top of these two packages. And then we get over here to this piece. Again, this is one 12 by 12 piece that I've actually sectioned off just to the left of her. I placed her on top, used some Wink of Stella here on some of the ornaments and the star, and then took this cutout and mounted it on cardstock and then popped it up so it would come up off the page. Then when you open it up, this side panel is what was over here on the left-hand side. I've just simply swapped them. And then I added some Wink of Stella onto the teddy bear. So now over here, we have a beautiful panel. Again, the ornaments have been accented with some Wink of Stella. And then we've got this beautiful tag that acts as a tuck, and then I added some Wink of Stella here to the white poinsettia. Open this up, and we have a beautiful panel here for either hand journaling or for placing a couple of photos. Chipboard piece, and then this is a chipboard piece as well as this. Here's some bling as well as my die again. And I made another one of those photo cards using this sheet of paper that when you open this up, it carries the theme through. And then on the reverse side, it was the other half of this, because these are 12 by 12s that we cut in half at 6 inches, again scoring at 8 and scoring it at 4 so that you fold them up. So you can use one sheet of paper that would cover both sides. This is an ephemera piece. That will tuck in right there. And then on the last page, this is being the back panel, we've got some waterfalls. There are several opportunities for photos, and you get back here and you've got two fairly large spots for some additional photos. I did cover all of these to help break up that red cardstock. The ribbon that I'm using is out of my stash, but it's kind of a ribbed ribbon, so it holds up quite well. So that is my album, The Nutcracker by Stamperia. And again, a huge shout out to Scrap and Create for entrusting me once again to make an album. And I appreciate your viewing. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. This will also be on my Etsy site for sales, so head on over there, look up My Messy Fingers, and then you'll see all the albums that I've got for sale will be there. So I'll see you on the next album. Until then.